The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. And tonight, he was so good in the first episode we had with him that we brought him back, Mr. Anthony Aveni. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
it's a pleasure.
Now, Anthony is an accomplished singer and a very accomplished actor, and it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Right. So there was a question you asked right before the show, and I'm trying to think of what it was. You just asked it 2 seconds ago. But anyway, we were talking about, in the last episode, we were talking about film, and we could continue on film if you'd like. I mean, you had mentioned something in the last show about how some actors who have worked on Scriptless have gone on to bigger and better things.
Yes.
And you know, we could talk about you, right? I mean, you've been working now with John Travolta and some other. What was the project again you worked on with John Travolta?
The project with John Travolta was The Life and Death of John Gotti.
Oh, so you're in that movie, right?
Yes, and John Travolta is playing the part of John Gotti, and our mutual friend Willie DeMeo is playing the part of Sammy the Bull.
Right.
That project is directed by Kevin Connolly, the guy from Entourage.
Right.
He's a really good director too. Excellent project. That should make a lot of headlines.
Okay, and it must be great that you were a part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. I
definitely.
mean, that's great. And
I brought about 5 or 6 cars to that set also as a special favor to my friend Willie. You know, I like to support him. He's a good movie maker. Very
and
talented.
we have one of our, camera people, the cinematographer person from Scriptless, and he's working on this show today, Matt.
Yeah, so
Matt
I
Bill
heard.
Zog, he's in Breaking Point, right? And he
Right.
worked on it as both crew and as an actor.
Right.
Breaking Point's going to be a big film, right?
That's going to be real big. It's got a couple of good people attached to it. Joe D'Onofrio from The Bronx Tale.
Right.
That's when I first met him. Ironically, you know, Joey and I, we haven't worked together since The Bronx Tale, and then recently, like 3 years ago, all of a sudden, we're in the same scene together, and then 3, 4 movies in a row we're in together.
I mean, I met him only once, and that's when we were the rap party for Tapestry, and he was such a gentleman. He said, I really like your work. I'm thinking, okay, sure. I said, I love your work. You know? But he's a gentleman. I really enjoyed meeting him.
Yeah. Joe D'Onofrio, not only is he good at drama stuff, but he also has a good comical, witty side to him. He's very, good personality, good guy, man, I'm happy to see him advance to other levels.
And we also have Jim Fulliter, our...
Scriptless. Jim was doing some editing for you, if I'm not mistaken.
And he co-produced.
Okay.
Because, what else could I give him? But we worked together, and it was good for all of us.
If I remember correctly, one day we were filming on a Sunday afternoon. I believe it was downtown Manhattan, and I had a scene directly with Jim.
Yes, you had quite a few scenes with Jim.
Yeah.
But one thing, I remember one of the, it was like, I think either episode 8 or 9 of the original Scriptless, where you came up with the idea, and I thought it was an excellent idea. We were at Late Street, which is down in Tribeca, where we were filming, and you said, why don't I drive the car into the scene, and we shot it through the window.
Yes.
And it was like, what a scene, because you're approaching to come up to talk to Detective Kazak, which was played by Jim. But just the image of the car coming in, you coming out, walking in, it was like beautifully. If it wasn't a scriptless kind of thing, you would think that that it was all laid out ahead of time.
Right.
But it was just a spur of the moment thing that you came up with that became incorporated in the show.
I believe that day I was using my 1962 white Chevy Impala convertible.
It was beautiful, man. What a beautiful car.
I brought a couple of cars to the set for you. I think one time we also used my blue GTO convertible.
How about the first episode? You were with.
Danielle Harper. She was playing one of my mistresses, my girlfriend.
That was one of the best scenes. And the part that I liked about that the most, that's when
she's a very talented woman.
I'm talking about you. When the thing that got me about you was usually you're very, you have a lot of energy, but you were in the scene with her in the car, and instead of being very powerful, you became very vulnerable. And when I saw you do that scene, I said, man, this guy could act. And it was good because you just, instead of going forward, you went back a little bit. You let her be the dominant one. And when I saw that, I said, man, this guy's good.
Because of the characters we were playing,
That was such a good scene.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
And it sticks with me. It really does.
Yeah.
You know, that's another reason why we brought you back from the dead.
That day, I believe I had my 1985 Buick LeSabre.
Right. But I just remember, you even said, like, maybe I should pull into it. Because you're dropping her off for the last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And the way that we set it up, but, you know, she's kind of dissing
very
you.
cold, yeah.
And she's saying that, you know, I don't want anybody to see me in this car and all this
Right,
stuff. She wants to be,
right.
but when you backed off when she was talking, and then she goes into the Duck Inn, which is right around the corner. And as the door closes, that's when the credits rolled, and it worked out perfect. It was that was a great first episode. I just enjoyed it so much.
She's a very talented actress.
It's beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, right?
Yeah, very talented.
But the two of you together really played well together.
Yeah, because she was very heartless. She was playing the part of a very heartless woman, like treated me like dirt, like I didn't even exist, you know. But meanwhile, I was going along with it because, you know, she was 20 years younger than me. And she was like arm candy, and I was in love with her, and I was trying to prove my love to her, but she wasn't having it. That was the day I caught him kissing her in the back room.
And then you died.
And I tried to make her jealous by Hope. The other actress, Hope.
Yes.
And
Hope G or something.
Yeah, and we did a scene together where
that was fun. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
And we're going to do more fun shows.
Yeah.
You know, why not? I mean, what else is there?
I love the new location you came up with at Sharina's house, the mansion.
I know, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, but we have other locations too. You know, Pete, who's also on our show.
Pete Passaro?
Passaro. Okay. He just bought a house, which we might use as a location at some point. Great. Maybe we'll do some hits over there or something. You know?
Cement shoes for somebody. Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
You?
And Peter Gaspar, one of our cast members,
yeah,
he's also found a place that we could do some location work on. So I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to it. I just want I want more scenes with my dad, because he was the genesis of the whole show started with my father, because I wanted him to be in. I didn't want to keep on like your father started doing work in film. My father started going on auditions and getting parts. The problem is he I had to drive him all the time, and I'm working full time.
Right.
So how am I going to drive him all the time? Yeah, I'm working around 50 hours a week, and it takes 15 hours back and forth, 3 hours a day.
Yes.
So how am I going to take him at night, because he's 102?
Right.
He has to go to sleep at some point. So I was taking him at auditions at night. It was just too much for him.
Yeah.
So I figured, what the hell, I'll make my own show. And it became Scriptless.
It's interesting. How long ago did your father first start acting? When did he start?
He was 98.
He was 98 when he started?
Yeah.
Okay. I got my father started about 3 years ago. I put him in a movie, one of Kamal Ahmed's movie.
Okay.
He was one of the former Jerky Boys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he had asked me to be in the movie. I'm playing opposite of Peter Green. I'm Peter Green's right-hand man. You know Peter Green?
No, I don't know.
He played opposite of Cher in the Mask movie.
Oh, wow.
And he also was in The Usual Suspects.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, he was a very talented actor.
Right. The other Baldwin was in that, not Steve, but his brother. One of the Baldwins was
I'm not sure.
Right, and the Usual Suspects. That was a great movie, man.
Yeah. So, we had some, so your father started at 98. Right. My father started at 78.
Right.
Because when we made that movie, 1,000 Times More Brutal, my director, he asked me if I could help him find some locations. They used a whole bunch of my cars. I was one of the actors. And one of the locations they needed was a bocce ball court.
Oh, cool. I love
My
it.
father was the Queen's champion of bocce
that's
a few
awesome.
years ago. So I said, hey, I got a bocce ball court. Not only do I have that, but my father is the champion of Queens.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he could make a couple of good shots for you. And sure enough, my father threw that bocce ball. Great scene.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Wow.
One's 5 years younger and one's 6 years younger.
And
but somehow over the course of the years, they became older than me. Because I'm still 39.
Right. So, we've been talking a lot about your acting, but, I'd like to shift it a little bit to your singing. So will you professionally sing?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm
cool.
the lead singer of all 4 of my bands.
Wow.
My main band is the In Your Face Band.
Oh, really?
We do at least 200 cover songs, but I also have 35 original songs, and those guys are the only ones who know my original material. Then I have a few other bands. One of my bands is called the Put Togethers.
Right.
And how did this name, the Put Togethers, come out?
I don't know.
Because one of the venues that I perform at,
Yes.
the owner calls me up, Sean. He goes, Anthony, this is Sean from Maggie's Bar. Listen, I have a cancellation. I need you to fill in. I says, oh, no problem, Sean. When is it going to be? Next Saturday, when? He goes, tomorrow night. I said, tomorrow night? I said, Sean, you're giving me like 12 hours. You know, it's 11 o'clock at night now.
Right.
You want me to be on the stage tomorrow night at 8 o'clock? Right. He goes, yes, but I remember you've performed here several times with different band members, so I know you have multiple bands. Right. Can you do something for me? I made a few phone calls. One band member from this band, one member from this band. So make a long story short, I got 5 of us together.
You put them together.
We went and performed.
Right.
And around 2 o'clock in the morning, we had the whole place dancing, singing. Right. And it was the last song. So I said, ladies and gentlemen, it was great being here. I hope you all had a good time. You know, this is going to be our last song of the evening. And people started saying, no, play more, play more. And one guy screamed out, what's the name of your band? So I just told them that story. Right. And I says, well, I guess we're called the Put Togethers, because I put it together in 3 hours.
Did you ever play with Steve Marshall? Is that
Oh, yeah. I played with Steve Marshall for 15, 20 years.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I met him only once. I was working on something with Teresa Nash, and we filmed in his
Is
studio.
that Steve Nash's?
No,
Steve Nash?
No, Teresa.
From Friday the 13th?
No,
Okay.
Teresa Nash is just one of JT's friends.
Okay.
And she's like this karate person, and she beats the crap out of me in this movie. but we filmed,
And you loved it.
I loved it. I love every, I love being in film just
me
as much
too,
as you
me
do.
too.
I mean, I'll do any. I love it. Take any part. I'll just have any. I just enjoy it. Yeah. It's the lifeblood in me.
Yes.
But we filmed it in his apartment. And have you ever been to his apartment? Oh. This apartment's across the street from Madison Square Garden. He has like a loft.
Oh, JT's. Steve Marshall,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, he has the back room with the music studio there. And when you look out the window, you see Madison Square Garden.
Right. And we were filming there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like the greatest location.
Yes.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he is. And we had a lot
we
of
made
good
all these
time.
plans about getting together. I never saw him again in my life. But it was like, it was so cool.
He's down in Florida right now.
Well,
As a matter of fact, I was filming, I've been working recently on the HBO production.
Which one?
The Deuce.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
And they needed a few of my cars, and that particular day I was short a few drivers. So,
wait a second. So when you supply cars, you also supply the drivers, right?
Yes.
See, I don't know anything about that business. That must be a cool business.
It is.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Tell me the story.
So I found out that we were filming right on Steve Marshall's block on 37th Street off 7th Avenue.
Right.
So I called up Steve. I said, Steve, you want to be in a HBO TV series, The Deuce? I need you to drive one of my cars.
Right.
You know, we might have to drive it up and down the street,
right.
or maybe you might just be sitting with the car.
Right.
And he said, which car? And I said, which car? I got 5 cars on the set. You pick one, and you could be the driver of that car.
Right.
So what do you think he picked? My 1956 Chevy Nomad.
Oh, man, that's...
He loved it. For which, my 1956 Chevy Nomad is the star car of a movie that's out right now, Laugh, Killer, Laugh,
right.
with William Forsythe.
Oh, I like William Forsythe.
Tom Sizemore is also in this movie.
I like Tom Sizemore, too.
And same director of The 1,000 Times More Brutal. On the last episode that I was on, we talked about that with Kamal Ahmed, the Jerky Boys. Right. He also did that movie. Right. Excellent movie. And my 56 Chevy Nomad looks really nice. Right. Yeah, it's great.
So, do you think you'll be acting and singing for the rest of your life?
I'm sure of it.
Right.
It's the only thing I do.
So it's
my only job.
So what kind of gigs do you usually play? Singing gigs.
Well,
or
that's
band
a good
gigs.
question. It depends on the venue. Like if I'm doing a nice, fancy Italian restaurant, then I play more subtle, easy.
How do you dress?
stuff.
How do you dress for something like that?
I always dress up, nice.
Right.
I always dress up nice.
Right.
Show a little class.
Right. Do you ever sing Italian songs when you go to an Italian restaurant?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like one of the favorites is, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
I like that.
When the stars seem to shine like you had too much wine, That's amore. Come on, Alan.
No, I'm not.
Bells will ring. Come on, Alan.
I'm not a
Show
singer.
me what you got.
I got
kid.
nothing. I got nothing. Okay, but no, but you got that voice.
Yeah.
Do you think
So
does it
it's
make
more
you,
easygoing music if I do Italian restaurants, you know, places like that. But sometimes I do bars, biker bars,
Right.
and then I'll put on my cut-off sleeves.
Right.
I'll grow the goatee, and I'll sing some classic rock and roll stuff. The Rolling Stones, ZZ Top, Santana.
What's your favorite to sing out of all the?
I love doing my original stuff because in my mind I feel like truly the original material is what's going to get us recognized.
Right, exactly.
Like, wow, that's some excellent music.
Right.
You know, it's new stuff nobody ever heard.
Right.
You know,
And
anybody could cover songs.
But are your originals ballads? Are they rock?
The funny thing is,
Right.
all my original music sounds different. Like a lot of bands, they have the same kind of tempo and stuff. Like I have stuffed love songs, classic rock and roll, blues. Like I've written some stuff that is amazing. Like when I was feeling a little down and out, like, you know.
Does it make you feel better once you get it out of you? If you have I mean, like if you're down and out and you get a song.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it makes me want to keep writing, you know. But I did come up with some, I also came up with some amazing rap stuff.
Really?
Like when I was working with 50 Cent and Lloyd Banks.
Did you work with 50 Cent with Ken Kushner?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, on the Any Girl music video. Ken and I have been working on a lot of projects together. But the Any Girl music video has been viewed by 2 million people.
Oh my God.
And again, my white Impala convertible, the 62 Chevy, was one of the featured cars. Well, funny moment about that. I'm one of the only white guys in the movie.
Right.
And it's about Lloyd Banks. He's a big player in this.
Right.
And he's running around with different women all the time. And in one scene, I come home and I catch him with my girl on my bed, on my sofa.
Oh God.
So I reach into the cabinet and I get the gun and I chase him and he jumps over the couch, runs out the door, and I'm chasing him out with the gun.
Right.
Now the funny thing is, he goes and makes a dash for the white Impala convertible because it's his car in this video, right? And it's got a 4-speed.
Oh, no.
And Lloyd Banks don't know how to drive a 4-speed.
Oh God.
So the director, Ken Kushner, says, well, we have a little problem here. And I says, well, Kenny, how about he gets into the passenger seat and I just drive away because nobody else on the set knew how to drive a 4-speed. So Lloyd Banks now gets into the passenger seat and I'm driving him away. And I said to him, isn't that something, Lloyd? I just caught you with my girl and now I'm helping you make the getaway.
2 places at the same time. It's crazy.
Oh, funny stuff.
I love it. You know, that's the beauty of film is that, you know, because they couldn't see who was driving the car.
Right, exactly. Like we cheated out the shot.
I like music videos. I've done a couple of music videos. They're fun. And commercials are fun too.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever saw my other music video. It's not my original song, but it's called My Greatest Disaster, and I'm the only actor in it.
Wow.
I don't say a word.
Right.
It's all facial expressions. Right. You know, and I put one of my lady friends in it also, and it's really spooky. You know, because you're wondering, what is this guy up to? You got to watch it. My Greatest Disaster. It's about, the music is really good too.
But I was looking at some of your stuff in anticipation of our shows together today, and I saw that you also had like this episodic show that you did back in 2008 and 9, or 7, 8, and 9, around then. And they had this pizza and stuff like that. I was looking at that stuff. It looked great, and you looked the same as you did back then. But it was an interesting.
That's, I think, Anthony's World, my little
World.
YouTube series.
But I thought it was great. I thought it was a nice way of bringing your image out to the public, and I thought it was very good. It was interesting and fun.
Thanks.
But I saw a lot of your music stuff. I mean, a lot of clips of your music, and the crowd usually goes pretty nuts when you're singing. I saw that too.
Yeah, I like to play with the crowd too, you know, like I try to do up-tempo type of music, like when I'm doing rock and roll bars and stuff that everyone knows that they could sing along to. And then once in a while I'll with the microphone go into the audience and I'll let everybody sing a little bit, you know.
You play
audience participation.
Yes, I guess in those kind of places you play like songs that they know for the most part.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like to mix it up also.
With your originals?
Yeah, I like to usually when I'm doing like a bar performance, you do a lot of classic rock and roll. I play like 4 cover songs, and then I'll throw in an original.
Right.
You know, 4 more cover songs, another original. And now, over the course of the past couple of years, I hear people in the audience scream out, do an original, do Simple Explanation, or do Feel So Good, you know, some of my original stuff.
So,
and that makes me feel good, because now I know, wow, people are liking my original stuff.
Now I know that you like the ladies as well. I mean, when you do these shows and you're singing in front of an audience, do you ever have people just checking you out while you're doing it? You know?
yeah.
I mean, that must be cool. You know, I mean, even as a bartender, when I was younger, there would be people at the bar looking, you know, like girls looking at you like this. But I mean,
Too bad there wasn't more of me. Too bad I didn't really have a twin brother.
Right, but I mean, when you're on these shows, or do people come up to you and like try to get friendly with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it.
It must be great.
No, right now I have a great girl.
Okay, forget I asked that question.
No. I've been dating Margarita for about 2 years now.
Wow.
She's really down to earth, got a great sense of humor, and you know, she
like
puts
your
up with all my stuff.
So she supports your acting and your singing?
Yeah, and she's a model. Right. She's been modeling for years. And sometimes I have opportunities, because my directors, they know I know a lot of people, like, hey, can you get me anybody? Can you get, you know, and I'll ask my girl if she wants to be in the movie.
So how many pictures do you think you've been in? I'm curious.
Ooh. Well, The Bronx Tale was my first.
Right.
And I believe I'm approaching close to 200 now.
Wow. It's crazy, right?
But like real movies, you know, that includes all the independent projects, music videos and everything. A lot of, you know, it's unfortunate, like a lot of people, they make these movies and they got great stories and everything, but then they don't have money to put them out there.
You got to promote them.
So the movie sits on a shelf. Really, really good movies with great stories just sitting on a shelf.
I know. I used to work at Sony. That was that was my first job as an accountant, because that's what I do in my regular life. And one of the things what I did was my thesis for my MBA, I have a master's in business administration, was to see what happens if you know, the effect of pre-screening and then investing. Should you invest in a movie to make it go further? And it showed, like, I mean, if you don't invest in a movie for promotion, you might as well just, you know, just, if you don't invest, it's not going to get out there. And even if you do invest, if you got a crappy movie, it's not going to work. So, you know, but I just got involved in this whole thing about like promotion and all that stuff. Without promotion.
Let's get back to the crappy movie stuff. You know, like I was saying, a lot of these movies are great and they're sitting on the shelf primarily because they don't have an A-list actor attached to it.
That's true.
Excellent storyline, but it's sitting on the shelf. But if this movie that's sitting on the shelf, let's say, had Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or Sharon Stone in it, man, it would make millions.
But you know what? Even if it doesn't make millions in the United States, you get something attached to Robert De Niro or Sharon Stone or anyone
overseas.
Overseas, you can make tons of money.
So I understand.
That's how it works.
I've heard.
I know. So even if you're not making it here, you can make it. You can make it someplace else.
Isn't that something that Frank Sinatra said? If I could make it here, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York.
Okay. Bravo. Matt's over there smiling. Matt Bilzagar, great cinematographer.
Another mistake
tonight.
You know, another mistake I noticed that filmmakers make?
What did they do?
They have a certain budget, and they'll spend the whole budget making the movie.
Right.
And then they have no more money to advertise.
Right.
And again, the movie goes on the shelf.
Right. And that's it.
If they would only save half of the money to promote it and advertise, they might have a little something.
And I think nowadays there's less money available because of how many films there are out there. I mean, there's just so many films. You know, I mean, maybe the money's there, but there's just so many films to spread it over. I mean, it's got to be tough, you know, to know which movie. That's why the only movies that seem to really make it are movies that have name actors in it.
Right.
Because there's just so many, you know, these people want to make sure if you have a bankable star, that's the only money they can put the stuff in.
Right.
Yeah, and you said it.
You know, I have a nice movie that came out. We didn't talk about it on our last episode. I have a nice cameo appearance where...
Which movie?
This is called The Brooklyn Banker.
And who's in that?
This is with Mr. Paul Savino.
Oh, man.
Federico Castelluccio from The Sopranos.
Right.
He's the director.
Cool.
He's a sweetheart of a guy.
Right.
Not only is he an amazing actor,
Right.
but he invited me to see some of his artistic work.
Right.
Oh boy.
But do you ever
He's
notice,
great.
just like you're an actor, but you're also a singer. You have people who are in the arts, and it comes out in many different ways. It
Yeah.
doesn't just come out in one,
Exactly.
especially if you're a real artist.
That's a movie you should see.
I will.
The Brooklyn Banker.
I will.
I have
I
a
like-
nice cameo. Every car you see in that movie belongs to me.
I like Paul Sorvino very much.
One day we were on set, and because I was helping Federico looking around for some locations, and he asked me, he goes, you know, I have a scene where I need somebody experiencing road rage. You think you could pull that off?
I think you can.
He goes, because I know you're a really nice guy.
Yeah, but you got the
do you
energy,
think you
man.
could
Oh
pull it
my
off?
God, yeah.
I went right into character, and I really gave
sure
it
you
to
did.
him. And he goes, okay, you got the part.
Well, I'll tell you, you did it on a dime. You were able to turn on Noah, with Sam.
Yeah.
You know, you start off like coming off Mr. Nice Guy, but then you get into that. You're able to switch gears very well and very quickly,
Yeah.
which is really.
He must have said something to piss me off.
But it's like a director's dream to have someone who's able to just on a dime to be
Oh,
able
thank
to
you
turn.
for the compliment.
No, it's the truth,
Thank
man.
you.
I mean, because
Thank you.
and it became interesting, and you threw him off balance a little bit too, which also makes if he's off balance, he's going to try to throw you off
Yeah,
balance. And I like
yeah.
that chemistry that you had with him.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
I love working on that scriptless series with you.
It's fun.
I like the fact that, you know, you let us go with the improvisation and stuff. That's a great way to practice.
It's a lot of fun,
know?
and it breaks. It also, like, with some of the newer actors, like with Peter Gaspar.
Right.
He was new when he came on the show, and he's beginning to blossom.
Progressing.
He's progressing, and to watch the progression of these people who are volunteering basically their time, as I am, you know, just to do these projects. But to watch it as a learning experience, it's really gratifying.
Hey, I give you a lot of credit, man. You know, because, you know, I've been in the business for almost 30 years
Right.
with the acting stuff, and I see you progressing.
Right.
You're dedicated and determined.
Oh,
And
definitely.
I love that.
Right. Well, I'm going to do it
Because to me, you're a perfectionist, and as I am.
Right.
And that's the most important thing in the world.
And the thing is, I have wonderful people. Like we have Andrew Wazalowski, is that how it's pronounced? Matt, yes, good. And we have Matt Bilzog, and we have the incredible cast. And we have people who come in, and I'll tell you, every time we shoot, people want to come back. I mean, it's like it's like a feeling that, you know, they want to be part of something, you know.
Yeah.
And actors got to act, and you know, if it's one day a month, usually people could find the time to do it.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I've been having great timing with you because so far the times you have asked me to show up, I wasn't booked on
you
those
better
days.
I hope. Well, look on your calendar because we're shooting, I think, May 22nd. So that's the.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll look when I get home. I'll
okay.
check it out.
Yeah, and you'll be seeing this soon too, which should be fun. I can't wait to see this.
And I heard that we might possibly be having a big barbecue party with our scriptless cast at
that's
the
it.
mansion that we
That's it.
filmed at.
Yeah, Matt said that he's going to drive by himself to the mansion this time because he doesn't want to come home if he doesn't have to. I had to bring them home early because I had to work the next day.
Yeah.
But you know, he said that he wanted to party a little bit. It was so fun.
Oh, after you left,
Yeah.
we had so much fun.
I know, but I had to work the next day.
And I don't know if you heard,
No.
but like a couple of the people started going into they started telling a few jokes.
Oh my God.
And then like when nobody had any more jokes left, I went into my joke telling mode.
Oh.
And I had them laughing for about a half an hour straight, one after another.
But I know Matt didn't want to come home. So Matt, you could party till your heart's content next time if you drive yourself.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah. But life is good, man. That's what my father says, and it is. Life is good.
You know, that might be a good title for your next series. Life is good.
Yeah, that might be good. Scriptless. Life is good. That might work. Yeah. And we'll have your dad on the show. And I'm looking forward to having at least a scene with your father and my father. I
Yeah.
think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because my father always talks about, the other thing he talks about is how when he first came to the United States, no, I'm sorry, his parents came to the United States. When he was first born in the United States, the blocks were separated into Jewish people, the Italian people, and the Irish people. Same block. You know, and it was like those were the immigrants that came in around the same time. And, you know, it's terrible. You know, I love these shows, and and usually when it gets really going good, there's usually just one thing left to say. That's a wrap. Good night, folks.